Hey guys and gals, I got another one for you today. Today is the moment you've all been waiting for. That's right. I know you guys think that the Type 4 Heavy is the greatest Tier 9 heavy tank in the game. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to live up to your expectations. However, we don't have 3 terrible games in the Type 4. Now, when I played the Type 4 the first time, I absolutely hated it, and that's because I used the derp gun, and the derp gun at tier 9 is so stupid and bad. The penetration is bad, the reload is bad. So on this replay, I put the regular gun on there, and that's what I highly recommend you do if you grind this line. Once you get to the Type 5, you can put the derp gun back on, because I don't know, maybe you actually do enjoy these tanks and you want to take them seriously. However, with me, I like the armor, I like the derp gun. Just, it's a style of tank that gives you lots of lulls, and it is what it is. Like, I don't play these to be super competitive, I just play them to get the laughs and sometimes just to bully people, and when I don't have to be so serious. So how does this line go? Well, this line is a bunch of heavy tanks that can bully lower tiers. However, once the prem rounds go on, your armor is no longer meaningful. So, makes for interesting games, and then they all generally offer derp guns. And when you find squishy tanks, it's delicious. When you find armored tanks, you can still do like 200 damage to them or more, depending on the tier difference. However, this, like I said, this derp gun on this one is just kind of awkward. So we're able to get a shot into that Iron Rain. However, the Emil 2 takes our ammo rack, so now we don't have our repair kit. See if we can get a shot into this Type 4. And we are not using the derp gun in this replay. I don't have any experience with the regular gun, because I grounded it out with the derp on here. It was miserable. I didn't think I'd ever buy this thing back again, and then I decided to do tier 9 heavy tank. And honestly, I was thinking, you know what, I think these guys could go without the Type 4 being in the replays. But to be fair, we bought it back, we pulled it out onto the battlefield. First game, not so stellar, 1000 damage, 1000 blocked. Could have been a little bit more patient. This map is obviously a great heavy tank map. It's kind of about rotation, depending on who rotates around who faster, but also patience is key on this map. So even though rotation is really important, also making sure that you're patient. I mean, if the other team's willing to drive out in front of you, like I drove out in front of that Foch, then, you know, take advantage of that. Type 5 is able to take the Foch down. Our E3 is able to take their E100 down, and suddenly we start to win. And you can see they actually started pushing once they had the numbers. Our team stayed put, and there really wasn't any rotation from either side. And what I mean by rotation is just getting to the opposing tank's flanks. And really what you have to do in that instance is, let's say we're holding this position, but we're kind of fighting the 6th line, then you want to have tanks in my position that are shooting him in the side. Or alternatively, like, excuse me, like F7, and then just shooting down the alleyway into the sides of them. And then if they're in the middle, then you want to push the 6 and the 0 and kind of get on their sides. But it has to work in unison. If you over push and then your team falls back to hide behind the buildings, it generally is not going to fare well for you. Type 5 is taking a beating. Our mouse is going to try to absorb one of the arty shells. He is unable to get there in time. And this can make for an awkward situation. Mouse fighting Scout. See if he can get the shot off. Sure enough, he does. Takes him out, and now it's pretty much just go get arty. Is this a line I recommend you guys to go down? I don't know, if you got nothing better to do. It's pretty interesting. The OI experimental, which I know it's not the experimental, or is it? I don't remember anymore. It's been so long. I just always called it the experimental. I can't remember if that's its actual name. It already takes our E4. Now it's 2-1. Hopefully your team doesn't throw this. These guys are pretty healthy, and it's a bat chat, so he doesn't have high penetration. He's going to have a hard time penning the mouse for sure. The OI experimental, those two tanks were forgettable. But you have your moments in them because you have a big gun, decent armor, but you're gigantic and slow. So take that for what it's worth. Then you get into what I call the real Japanese heavy tanks. You get into the Oni. And our E3 is able to take arty down. Oni is a fun tank. I thought there's no problems with the Oni. The gun ports on the front kind of make it awkward, but it is what it is. Get 1,000 damage, 1,000 blocked, get 800 experience there, and we almost cracked the top 5 with that horrendous game that we had. Type 5, E4, E3, and the mouse all carried our team. Appreciate that, guys. Then the Oho, and I kept the Oho. I thought that was the best mixture of derp gun and armor. And once again, the gun ports are on the front, so that makes it awkward. But then the Type 4, the derp gun really doesn't work on this, so I wasn't too interested in keeping it. But this gun actually seems pretty competitive, so I wish I would have played the Type 4 with this gun the first time around. Doesn't make it as miserable. Especially when you're seeing tier 10s and you're going to chokes, your derp gun just can't take care of the tier 10s like you want it to. But for whatever reason, the Type 5 is a little bit bigger and is able to just trash out 200 damage, 300 damage, 400 damage a pop just by auto-locking and firing. Alright, we're going to head north here and try to hold that. I really don't mind the eastern push, except if I get caught out in the field. Especially with an arty, that would be pretty miserable. Or even if some tanks come flying through the middle and surround me. And that's really where these tanks suck, is the DPM is bad, the gun handling is bad, side armor is trash, the front armor is only good if they're not using premium rounds. So there's not a lot of love about these tanks. And that's why I use the derp gun, because then it doesn't have to be great, you know what I mean? Like, you just jump in this, have a good time. And this is feeling a lot like the motion game. So my team's already pushing out the A-B line. And I decide, you know what, it's going to take me too long. By the time I push up there, my team is going to swing around and I will be left to do nothing. So, I'm going to cut it through the middle. Hopefully, I don't take too much damage here. Doesn't look like I'm going to take any. And we're going to see if we can cut the middle and then get in behind the reds. Maybe help ourselves push that out. And then it is 4-3. It looks like they sent some tanks back to their base, or they've been camping over there, sniping. They are lit up, which should help our teammates out a little bit. Not even if they can shoot at them, but they'll back them off into backs of the mountains. So, good for the bridge, and just going for an auto lock here. I don't really know the gun lanes from the middle of the map. And it's still 4-3, so even though it's taking me a long time to get to the battle, there might be some scraps left for me. Swinging around, got shots on these guys. And the next 30 starts to run away. Can't get a shot into the wizard. Type 4 in front of me just shot. We're able to pen his shoulder plate, even though it was orange. We got it through. I figured it was going to be flat enough. However, I don't know penetration on this thing very well. I believe from looking at it, the pen is pretty decent on here, and then the prem rounds are good. And they're AP rounds, so they don't have the shell velocity like an APCR. But if you are a fan of AP rounds, which are good overall shells, then you'll like the premium rounds on this thing. Tons of driving in this thing, and that's a super heavy for you. We talked about this. Able to get a shot in the side, take that Tiger 2 out. Now we're going to push north. Scout packs into me. And dude, I really can't get out of your way, if that makes sense. Just pretty much have to push forward. We're looking for a shot in that wizard, but he's hauled down. He's been there the whole game, so he's comfortable. Missed a shot into the lower plate of that 45B. And I am just gonna push. 45B takes our engine. We got the side of that wizard, and we were able to shut him down. Pick up 1400, or I'm sorry, 1200 damage, block 14, and a little bit of assisted there. Let's get to end game stats. 1200 damage, 1400 block, 2 kills, 56 assisted. And that's going to bring us to 2300 total damage, 56 assisted, 2400 block, 1600 earned. And we got one more game to go here. I'll just talk about how I'm going to decide to pick for the playoffs and what the playoffs are going to be. So the playoffs are actually going to be 6 tanks, and one from each of these categories is going to make it through, plus a couple more determining factors. First one is how impactful was the tank in battle. So first of all, you want to look at the wins. If I have any tanks that won 3 games, then it's not only the wins, because I have multiple tanks that have 3 wins, but then how impactful were each team, or I'm sorry, how impactful was the tank in battle? And to determine that, we're just going to average out like how the tanks finish up at the end of the map. Alright, so this map likes to go down in the corner. Unfortunately, we don't have much help, so we're going to have to do this alone. It does look like, however, that they sent a ton of tanks on the one line, so that should bode well for us. Don't make the shot into that E75. Looking to see if we have a shot on him. No, we don't. But there's a Carnarvon over there, so we'll shoot at his front drive wheel. Unfortunately, our shell dips and we smack the ground there. Oh, it's that shot. I think the guy to my left has a shell. He's ready to go. Yeah, sure enough. I'm just going to close the distance, and I'm going to take advantage of the corner. I don't really like the fact that they get to determine when they pull out, how far they pull out, things like that. So I'm just going to take the corner and beat on them a little bit. Bounce the Carney shell, and then we're able to get a shot into the E75's drive wheel. Now we're going to take out this E75. It's going to leave the Conqueror, but I feel like my team's going to deal with it. Got a 45B and a Patton over in the corner. Do not make a shot into the 45B's top cap. Now we're starting to get in a pickle. I feel like I gotta push somewhere. If I don't push somewhere, then we're gonna get surrounded. So I turn around. I'm going to try to help push this low. And I realize that the Patton's still over there, so he's probably going to be shooting me in the side. Doesn't look like the one line is doing much either over there. Alright, so at this point I just want to push on him. Get a shot into the 45B. Well, I'm going to try to go for a reload, however this nuisance over here is getting shots into my side. So I give up my side to the 45B. And now our team starts to take over one line, and I think they're going to push to make a cap. Our team is kind of spread out on the 9-0 line, but that's okay. Really just a few boring games in the Type 4. Kind of my expectation in it. If you like this gameplay, I'd much rather play a Moushin all day long. The armor is a lot more reliable. Gun is, to me, more reliable. If you want something with good armor, but a little bit better mobility, I mean, I'd go 705A. I'm sorry, Object 705. .45B would probably be a better choice for you. E75 is an excellent choice. Excuse the train going by. So how'd we do? Well, 1400 damage, 3000 blocked, which is good, but definitely not the greatest game. However, we do get, what, 8th place? And then look at our totals. Damage is 3700. Assist is only a measly little 56. Blocked is 5530. And then XP earned is going to be 2577. So, you know, definitely not anything to write home about, but okay games. And this tank is what it is. Not a huge fan, but I'll quit babbling. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.